average price of farmland in America hit $7,000 per acre in 2024. For a modest 100-acre farm, that's $700,000. Most banks want 20% down. That's $140,000 cash before you even start farming. I don't have $140,000. Most beginning farmers don't either. But here's what I discovered after spending 3 months researching every federal program, state incentive, and creative financing method available in 2026. You can buy farmland with zero money down, legally, through government-backed programs that most people have never heard of. I'm not talking about sketchy lease agreements or predatory lending. I'm talking about USDA-backed loans with zero down payment requirements, state tax credit programs that incentivize sellers to finance your purchase with no money down, and strategies that combine multiple programs to eliminate the down payment entirely. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which programs to apply for, what the eligibility requirements are, and how to structure a deal that gets you onto farmland without draining your savings. This is the information the USDA doesn't advertise. The programs buried in agency websites that bankers won't tell you about unless you specifically ask. Let's break it down. Number 1. USDA Farm Service Agency Direct Farm Ownership Loans. This is the most straightforward zero-down farmland program in America, and most beginning farmers don't know it exists. Here's how it works. The USDA Farm Service Agency offers direct loans to beginning farmers with zero down payment required. Not 5%, not 3%, zero. The program is specifically designed for people who cannot obtain conventional financing. If a bank will give you a loan, you don't qualify. This is the lender of last resort, and that's exactly what makes it valuable. Maximum loan amount is $600,000 as of 2023. Current 2026 limits may be higher, so check the FSA website for updated numbers. The interest rate is subsidized, typically 2 to 4 percentage points below conventional agricultural loans. As of late 2023, FSA direct loan rates were around 5%, while conventional ag loans were running 7 to 9%. Loan term is up to 40 years. That's critical. A 40-year amortization dramatically lowers your monthly payment compared to a 15 or 20-year loan. Let me give you real numbers. A $600,000 loan at 5% interest over 40 years equals approximately $3,200 per month. The same loan over 20 years would be nearly $4,000 per month. That difference, $800 per month, can determine whether your farm operation is viable or not. Now here's the eligibility requirements. You must qualify as a beginning farmer. That means you've been farming for less than 10 years. If you've been farming for 11 years, you don't qualify. The cutoff is strict. You must be unable to obtain credit elsewhere. The FSA will actually require you to apply to at least 2 conventional lenders and get rejected before they'll consider your application. Bring those rejection letters to your FSA appointment. You must have farming experience or training. This can be a degree in agriculture, 3 years of documented farming experience, or completion of an FSA-approved beginning farmer training program. Your total farm ownership cannot exceed $1,450,000 in assets. This includes land, equipment, livestock, everything. If you're already wealthy, this program isn't for you. You must be a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident. And here's the most important requirement. You must demonstrate ability to repay the loan. This is where most applicants fail. The FSA doesn't just hand out money. They require a detailed business plan showing projected income and expenses for the next several years. Your plan needs to show that your farm operation will generate enough income to cover the loan payment, your operating expenses, and your living expenses. If your projections show you'll gross $50,000 annually, but your loan payment is $38,000, you're not getting approved. The math has to work. But if you can show realistic projections, solid farming knowledge, and genuine inability to get conventional financing, this program will give you $600,000 with zero down to buy farmland. The application process takes 3 to 6 months. You'll work with your local FSA office. They're located in almost every agricultural county in America. Start by calling your county FSA office and asking to speak with a farm loan officer. Tell them you're a beginning farmer interested in a direct farm ownership loan. They'll guide you through the process. One critical note: FSA funding is limited. They have a set budget each fiscal year. When the money runs out, applications go on a waiting list until the next fiscal year. Apply early in the fiscal year, which starts October 1st, to maximize your chances of funding in the same year. Number 2. USDA Farm Service Agency Guaranteed Loans. This is a different program from the direct loans, but it can also result in zero or very low down payments. Here's the structure. Instead of the USDA lending you money directly, they guarantee up to 95% of a loan made by a conventional lender. The bank makes the loan, the USDA guarantees it. This reduces the bank's risk dramatically. If you default, the USDA pays the bank. Because of this guarantee, banks are willing to offer better terms than they would for an unguaranteed ag loan. Some lenders participating in the FSA Guaranteed Loan Program will offer 0 to 5% down payment options. Not all lenders do this, but some will. The maximum loan amount is higher than direct loans. As of 2023, the limit was $2,074,000. Check current 2026 limits. The interest rate is set by the lender, not the USDA. It's typically lower than conventional ag loans but higher than direct FSA loans. Expect somewhere between 6 and 8% depending on market conditions in your credit profile. Eligibility is similar to direct loans. You must be a beginning farmer, unable to get conventional credit, and demonstrate ability to repay. The advantage of guaranteed loans over direct loans is the higher loan amount and potentially faster approval. The disadvantage is the interest rate is higher and the down payment isn't always zero. Here's the strategy. Apply for both direct and guaranteed loans simultaneously. See which one offers better terms. You can withdraw one application if the other is more favorable. Some farmers use guaranteed loans for amounts above the $600,000 direct loan limit. For example, purchase an $800,000 farm with a $600,000 direct loan at 0 down and a $200,000 guaranteed loan at 5% down. The key is finding a participating lender who's aggressive about serving beginning farmers. Not all banks participate in FSA guaranteed loan programs. Those that do vary widely in their enthusiasm. Call your local farm credit office or community banks in agricultural areas. Ask if they participate in USDA FSA guaranteed loan programs and what their down payment requirements are for beginning farmers. Some lenders specialize in this. They understand the program and actively market to beginning farmers. Others participate on paper, but rarely actually make these loans. Find the lender who wants your business. Number 3, USDA Down Payment Loan Program. This is a program most people miss because it's not advertised as a standalone option. It's designed to be combined with other FSA loans. Here's how it works. The USDA will provide up to 45% of the purchase price of farmland as a separate loan specifically for the down payment. The maximum amount is $667,000. This loan has a fixed interest rate of 1.5%. That's not a typo. 1.5% fixed for the life of the loan. The term is 20 years. And here's the best part. No payment is required for the first 5 years. Let me show you how this combines with other programs to create a true zero-down scenario. Let's say you're buying a $400,000 farm. Conventional financing would require 20% down, which is $80,000. Instead, you structure it like this. You get a down payment assistance loan for 45% of $400,000, which is $180,000. That's your down payment plus working capital. You get an FSA direct loan for the remaining $220,000 at 5% over 40 years. Your down payment assistance loan requires no payment for 5 years, then payments of approximately $1,000 per month after that at 1.5% interest. Your direct loan payment is approximately $1,200 per month. For the first 5 years, you're only paying $1,200 per month total. After year 5, you're paying $2,200 per month. Compare that to a conventional loan on $400,000 at 8% over 20 years, which would be approximately $3,350 per month, plus the $80,000 down you don't have. The down payment assistance program changes the entire equation. Now here's the eligibility. You must qualify as a beginning farmer. You must be purchasing from a retiring farmer or in some cases from a family member. The exact seller eligibility requirements vary, so verify with your FSA office for current 2026 rules. You must be purchasing farmland that will be owner-operated. You can't be an absentee landlord. You have to farm the land yourself. The program has been intermittently funded over the years. Availability depends on congressional appropriations. As of my research in late 2025, the program was accepting applications, but verify current 2026 status with FSA. This program is powerful when combined with direct or guaranteed loans. It essentially eliminates the down payment barrier and gives you breathing room during the critical first 5 years when you're establishing your operation. Number 4, State Beginning Farmer Tax Credit Programs. Several states offer tax credits to landowners who lease or sell farmland to beginning farmers. These credits create financial incentive for sellers to offer favorable terms, including zero-down owner financing. The two best examples are Iowa and Nebraska. Iowa's Beginning Farmer Tax Credit Program has been running since 2006. Here's how it works. A retiring farmer who leases farmland to a beginning farmer receives a tax credit equal to up to 5% of the cash rent or crop share value. If the retiring farmer sells land to a beginning farmer using owner financing, they receive a tax credit equal to 5% of the capital gains on the sale. This credit reduces the seller's state income tax dollar for dollar. Why does this matter for zero-down purchases? Because it makes owner financing attractive to the seller. Normally, a seller wants cash. They want to be done with the property and move on. But if the state is giving them a 5% tax credit on the capital gains, suddenly carrying the note themselves becomes financially advantageous. You, as the beginning farmer, can negotiate a zero-down owner-financed purchase. The seller gets their tax credit. You get farmland with no money down. Here's a real example. A retiring farmer owns land worth $600,000. They purchased it decades ago for $100,000. Their capital gain is $500,000. If they sell for cash, they pay federal and state capital gains tax on that $500,000. Depending on their tax bracket, that could be $100,000 or more. If they sell to a beginning farmer using owner financing, they still pay capital gains tax, but the state gives them a 5% credit on the $500,000 gain. That's a $25,000 state tax credit. They can spread that capital gain over the life of the loan, paying tax only as they receive payments, and they get the credit. Plus, they're earning interest on the owner finance note. From the seller's perspective, this can be more profitable than a cash sale. From your perspective, you negotiate zero down, reasonable interest rate, typically 5 to 7%, and a long amortization period. Iowa's program requires the beginning farmer to be certified by the state. You apply through the Iowa Agricultural Development Authority. The process involves proving you're a beginning farmer and meeting income and net worth limits. Nebraska has a similar program. Their tax credit is 10% for leases and 5% for sales. The mechanics are essentially the same. Other states with beginning farmer tax credit programs include Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, and Kansas. Each has different structures and credit amounts. Research your state's program or neighboring states if you're willing to relocate. The key strategy here is finding a retiring farmer who wants to sell and educating them about the tax benefits of selling to you as a certified beginning farmer. Many retiring farmers don't know these programs exist. If you bring them the information and show them how it benefits them financially, you can create a deal that works for both parties. Number 5. Lease-to-own arrangements. This isn't a government program, but it's a structure that frequently results in zero-down farmland acquisition. Here's how it works. You lease farmland from an owner with an option to purchase at a predetermined price. A portion of your lease payments are credited toward the eventual purchase price. Typical structure. You lease 100 acres at $200 per acre, which is $20,000 per year. The lease agreement states that 50% of your rent payment, $10,000, will be credited toward the purchase price if you exercise your option to buy. The purchase price is locked in at the beginning. Let's say $5,000 per acre, so $500,000 total for the 100 acres. You lease for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, you've paid $100,000 in rent, and $50,000 of that has been credited toward the purchase. If you exercise your option to buy, you owe $450,000 instead of $500,000. You've built $50,000 in equity through your lease payments. The initial option fee is typically $0 to $5,000, much lower than a traditional down payment. Why would a landowner agree to this? Several reasons. They get guaranteed rental income. They get a committed tenant who has incentive to care for the land. And they have a buyer lined up when they're ready to sell. For you, the advantages are massive. You get to farm the land immediately. You build equity while you're farming. You lock in a purchase price, so if land values rise, you benefit. And you can withdraw from the deal if farming doesn't work out, though you lose your credited rent. The risk is that if you don't exercise the option, you lose the credited portion of your rent. It reverts to the landowner. So you're essentially paying above market rent for the option. But if your goal is land ownership and you don't have down payment capital, this is a viable path. Here's the strategy for finding lease-to-own opportunities. Contact your state's Land Link program. These are nonprofit services that connect retiring farmers with beginning farmers. Examples include Farm On in California, Land for Good in New England, FarmLink in New York, and Virginia FarmLink. These organizations maintain listings of available farmland and often facilitate lease-to-own arrangements. They provide template agreements and sometimes mediation services. You can also directly approach retiring farmers in your area. Many farmers are in their 60s and 70s with no identified successor. They want to see their land continue in agriculture, but they also need retirement income. Propose a lease-to-own structure. Explain that it gives them income now and a guaranteed buyer later. Show them how it benefits both parties. Be prepared with a solid business plan. Landowners want confidence that you'll succeed and be able to complete the purchase. One critical legal point. Get an attorney to review any lease-to-own agreement before you sign. These deals can be complex, and you want to ensure the option terms are clearly defined and enforceable. Number 6. Farm Credit Young Beginning and Small Farmer Programs. Farm Credit is a nationwide network of borrower-owned lending cooperatives. They're not government agencies, but they're chartered by Congress and have a mandate to serve young, beginning, and small farmers. There are over 70 local farm credit associations across the country. Each sets its own lending terms, but many offer preferential programs for beginning farmers. Some farm credit associations offer 90 to 95% loan-to-value financing for qualified beginning farmers. That's 5 to 10% down instead of the standard 20%. While that's not zero down, here's how you combine it with other programs. Use an FSA down payment assistance loan to cover the 5 to 10% down required by Farm Credit. The FSA down payment loan gives you up to 45% of the purchase price. For example, buying a $500,000 farm. Farm credit requires 10% down, which is $50,000. You get an FSA down payment assistance loan for $50,000 at 1.5% interest with no payment for 5 years. You get a farm credit loan for $450,000 at, let's say, 6.5% over 30 years. You've just purchased a farm with zero cash out of pocket. Farm credit also offers patronage dividends. As a borrower, you're technically an owner of the cooperative. When the association is profitable, they distribute dividends to borrowers, typically 0.5 to 2% of your loan balance annually. That dividend can be applied to your loan principal or taken as cash. Over time, it reduces your effective interest rate. Another advantage of farm credit is no prepayment penalties on most loans. If you have a windfall and want to pay off your loan early, you can without fees. The application process is similar to conventional lending. They'll evaluate your credit, your business plan, and your ability to repay. But they're mission-driven to serve agriculture, so they're generally more willing to work with beginning farmers than a typical commercial bank. To find your local Farm Credit Association, visit farmcreditnetwork.com and enter your zip code. Contact them and specifically ask about their young, beginning, and small farmer programs. Each association is different. Some are very aggressive about serving beginning farmers. Others are more conservative. Shop around if there are multiple associations in your area. Number 7. Owner financing combined with multiple incentives. This is where you stack multiple strategies to create a zero-down deal. Owner financing, also called seller financing, is when the person selling the land acts as the bank. You make payments directly to them instead of to a lender. Typical terms are 0 to 10% down, 5 to 7% interest, and 15 to 30-year amortization with a balloon payment in 5 to 10 years. The balloon payment is the catch. Let's say you structure a deal with 0 down, 6% interest, and a 30-year amortization. But there's a balloon payment in year 10. That means in year 10, you owe the entire remaining balance in one lump sum. You'll need to refinance with a bank or sell the property. The strategy is to use that 10 years to build equity, establish your farming operation, and improve your financial position so you can qualify for conventional refinancing. Here's how you sweeten the deal for the seller using state tax credits. If you're in Iowa, Nebraska, or another state with beginning farmer tax credits, you get certified as a beginning farmer. You show the seller how they'll receive a state tax credit for financing the sale to you. You propose 0 down, 6% interest, which is reasonable for owner financing. You agree to a 10-year balloon. The seller receives interest income, tax credits, and the ability to spread capital gains over multiple years, reducing their annual tax burden. For you, 0 down, manageable payments, and 10 years to build the operation. During those 10 years, you focus on profitability and building credit. In year 8 or 9, you start shopping for conventional refinancing to pay off the balloon. If land values have increased, you have equity. If you've been profitable, you have a track record. Banks are much more willing to lend to an established farmer than a beginner. This strategy requires finding the right seller. Not everyone is willing to owner finance, but approximately 5 to 10% of farmland transactions involve some form of seller financing, particularly in the Midwest. Target retiring farmers with paid-off land. They have the flexibility to offer financing because they're not making payments to a bank. Avoid sellers who still have mortgages. They typically can't owner finance because their lender won't allow it without paying off the existing loan. Use land link programs, farm transition consultants, and direct outreach to find potential sellers. When you find a willing seller, propose a structure that benefits both parties. Be transparent about your financial situation. Explain how the state tax credit works. Show them your business plan. Many retiring farmers care about legacy. They want their land to stay in agriculture. They want to help the next generation. If you can demonstrate commitment and competence, they may be willing to take a chance on you. Now let's talk about what they don't tell you. 0 down farmland purchases come with risks that you need to understand before you commit. Risk number 1. No equity cushion. When you finance 100% of the purchase price, you have 0 equity. If land values drop even slightly, you're underwater on the loan. You owe more than the land is worth. In a worst-case scenario, if you need to sell, you can't. You'd have to bring cash to the closing table to cover the difference between the sale price and the loan balance. This happened to farmers in the 1980s farm crisis. Land values collapsed. Farmers who were heavily leveraged, especially those with 0 equity, lost everything. We're not in a 1980s style crisis now, but farmland values do fluctuate. From 2020 to 2023, values increased about 7% annually in many regions. But there's no guarantee that continues. Risk number 2, higher monthly payments. Financing 100% means higher debt service. You're making payments on money that would have been your down payment. This reduces your cash flow. In tight years, when commodity prices are low or weather is bad, that extra payment can be the difference between surviving and going under. Risk number 3. Stricter qualification. Lenders know 0 down loans are riskier. They compensate by being more stringent about credit scores, income verification, and business plan quality. If your credit score is below 680, getting approved for zero down financing will be very difficult. If your business plan shows weak projections, you won't qualify. You need to be a strong candidate to overcome the lack of down payment. Risk number 4, balloon payments. Many owner finance deals and some government loan combinations include balloon payments. In 5 or 10 years, you owe the full remaining balance. If you can't refinance or don't have the cash, you lose the farm. You'll have made years of payments with nothing to show for it. Make sure you understand the balloon terms before you sign. Have a realistic plan for how you'll handle it when it comes due. Risk number 5, operational capital. Buying land with zero down doesn't solve your capital needs. You still need money for equipment, seed, livestock, fuel, and living expenses until the farm generates income. Many beginning farmers focus so much on land acquisition that they forget about operating capital. Then they get the land and realize they can't afford to actually farm it. Before you pursue zero down land, make sure you have a plan for operational capital. That might mean off-farm income, a spouse's job, or additional loans for equipment and operating expenses. The USDA offers operating loans in addition to ownership loans. You can often combine them. Let's talk about realistic timelines. From deciding to pursue farmland to closing on a property, expect 6 months to 2 years for most zero down scenarios. Here's why it takes that long. You need to complete any required training. If you don't have farming experience or an agriculture degree, you'll need to complete an FSA-approved training program. That can take 6 months to 2 years depending on the program. You need to develop a business plan. A solid plan takes weeks or months to research and write. You're projecting income and expenses for 5 years. You're researching markets, input costs, and production expectations. This isn't something you throw together in a weekend. You need to apply for programs and get approved. FSA loan applications take 3 to 6 months to process. State beginning farmer certifications can take several months. You need to find a property. The right farm in the right location at the right price doesn't appear overnight. You might look at dozens of properties over many months before finding the right one. You need to negotiate and close. Even after finding a property, negotiation can take weeks. Closing involves inspections, appraisals, title work, and legal reviews. Add another 30 to 90 days. So if you're starting from zero today, realistically you're looking at 12 to 18 months before you're farming your own land. That's okay. Use that time wisely. Get training. Build relationships with lenders and FSA staff. Network with other farmers. Save whatever money you can for operating capital. The farmers who succeed with zero down purchases are the ones who treat it as a multi-year process, not a quick fix. Also, understand that breaking even takes time. Most beginning farmers operate at a loss or break even for the first 3 to 5 years. By year 5 to 7, you should be generating positive cash flow if your operation is viable. Don't expect to buy land this year and quit your day job next year. It doesn't work that way. Many successful beginning farmers keep off-farm income for 5 to 10 years while they establish their operation. There's no shame in that. It's financially prudent. Here's exactly what to do if you want to pursue zero down farmland. Step 1. Assess your eligibility. Are you a beginning farmer with less than 10 years of experience? Do you have farming experience or training? Can you demonstrate inability to get conventional credit? If you don't meet these criteria, you need to get training or gain experience before you're eligible for most programs. Step 2. Contact your local FSA office. Find your county FSA office by searching USDA FSA plus your county name. Call and ask to speak with a farm loan officer. Tell them you're a beginning farmer interested in direct farm ownership loans and down payment assistance. They'll give you information packets and application requirements. They'll tell you what documentation you need. Step 3. Get pre-qualified with Farm Credit. Contact your local Farm Credit Association. Ask about their young, beginning, and small farmer programs. Find out what their down payment requirements are and what rates they're currently offering. Getting pre-qualified tells you how much you can borrow and what terms you can expect. Step 4. Get certified for state programs. If you're in Iowa, Nebraska, or another state with beginning farmer tax credits, apply for certification. This makes you eligible for those tax benefits and makes you more attractive to sellers considering owner financing. Step 5. Develop your business plan. You need a detailed farm business plan. Include projected income and expenses for 5 years. Show realistic production expectations based on soil quality and climate. Include marketing plans for your products. FSA and lenders will scrutinize this document. It needs to be thorough and realistic. If you don't know how to write a business plan, your local extension service often offers workshops. There are also farm business consultants who can help for a fee. Step 6. Start looking for land. Use land link programs, real estate listings, and direct outreach to retiring farmers. Don't just look for listed properties. Many of the best deals come from farmers who haven't officially listed yet. Network at farmers markets, ag conferences, and community events. Let people know you're looking for land. Word of mouth is powerful in farming communities. Step 7. Be patient and persistent. This process takes time. You will face rejection. Loan applications get denied. Sellers will choose other buyers. Properties will fall through. Keep going. Every no gets you closer to a yes. The farmers who succeed are the ones who don't quit after the first setback. 7 methods to buy farmland with zero money down. USDA direct loans. Guaranteed loans. Down payment assistance. State tax credit programs. Lease to own. Farm credit YBS programs. And owner financing with stacked incentives. These programs exist because lawmakers recognize that beginning farmers are essential to the future of American agriculture. The average farmer is 58 years old. 60 million acres of farmland will change hands by 2030. We need new farmers, but we also need new farmers to succeed. Zero-down programs give you access, but success requires skill, planning, and relentless work. If you're serious about this, start today. Contact FSA, get certified, build your plan. The land is out there. The programs are real. The question is whether you're willing to do the work to access them. Farmland ownership without a down payment isn't a fantasy. It's a process. And if you follow that process, you can go from renting someone else's land to owning your own. The choice is yours.